Now here in this example, we see a couple of string variables defined, s and sub s. We're letting s equal just the string, this is a string, and then simply displaying the value of s, just like we would with any other variable. But the next part of the code shows you some of the functionality of a string, in that there are methods that can be applied to it that assist you in working with strings and can be very helpful. So I've displayed s, and now I want to display s to uppercase, or I want to apply the to uppercase method to my string object, and so I can call s.toUppercase and display this is a string in uppercase. I can also use a method called Substring to pull out of a string a particular substring. So here, for example, I want to begin at position 9 and I want to end at the full length of the string. So give me the substring between position 9 and whatever the length of this string is. Then I'll go ahead and display sub s. Notice that sub s is going to be the result of the call to the substring. And then I'll display that. And then I can also use a method append to a string object. So here first s is going to be s as it exists, plus, or appending, strings are fun. Then letting s equal the value of s, and this string now has length of. And then we'll just display whatever the current value of s is. So if we go ahead and execute this, we see down here first, this is a string, then this is a string all in caps, in uppercase. Here's our substring, so from position 9 to the length of the string, pulled out a string. And then the last display was using the append method. So we have, this is a string, strings are fun, this string now has a length of 34. Now if I wanted to see additional methods that might be available with string, I could look in the documentation and see that for the string data type, there are object methods that can be used. So again, we've looked at append. We could also compare two strings and evaluate whether or not they are equal. Remember, a string with trailing blanks is different than a string without trailing blanks. And if you were to use the equals, it would evaluate those to see if they are the same. Equals ignore case allows you to do the same thing, evaluating two different strings, but ignoring any case, ignoring the character case. You can get a character at a particular position. You can get the position of a substring in the current string. We looked at get length and substring, to lowercase to uppercase, and then here down at the bottom you have the standard methods for trimming trailing blanks or whitespace characters. So you can trim the whole thing, which will trim the beginning and the end of the character string, trim left or trim right. And we can look here at this example. We've defined a string. We're letting the string, or s, equal a, b, c, d, e, f, displaying s, and the double pipe there is concatenating it to concatenate the current value of s to s, the length of s. Then we're going to trim right, trim off any trailing blanks, and display it to uppercase. So here it's saying if s trimmed to the right, so taking off that last trailing blank that we know is a part of it, if that equals a, b, c, d, e, f, then go ahead and display the value of s in uppercase.